be in the top 3 or 4.
Moving on to the county, as Helen says, "Oh yes, DC, oh yes," which is a great read.
Clip that.
Yeah. The county then. Matt, I'll come straight to you here because I quite like Pembroke, who's a handicap debutant. Now, I know this isn't your trend, but there used to be a thing about handicap debutants having a shocking record. Has that changed?
Yeah, it's changed with Samurai and then State Man going in. But bear in mind, they were thrice raced novices that Willie Mullins was aiming originally at the Supreme and then ended up in this. So I think with the 4 runs rule now, and the fact that Willie won't change his method in order to get that 4th run, that trend might start reasserting itself.
Okay, well, you're looking at Irish form here.
I am. This is a trial for this race. You don't get many trials that are particularly associated with festival handicaps. What's now the Liffey handicap at the Dublin Racing Festival? Runners from that to 4th and 43 in the last 15 renewals, more than doubled your money. And for a few years, the disparity between the Irish and British systems meant they didn't get in, but they should do this year. 8 of the other 13 renewals, other than those 2 won by State Man and Samurai, who will be eligible this year, have been won by horses going off 21.0 or bigger. So I'm not afraid of backing one at a price in the county. And the first one I'm interested in is a quite big price, Ballyadam, the former Royal Bomb winner. Didn't take to chasing, looked a horse with an issue and first reverting to hurdles, but got his act together in this race last year, 6 lengths 5th, off 144, 51.0, long way back there. He was ridden more prominently on his first run back from a break in the Liffey when beaten just over 4 lengths in 3rd off 142. That should have put him spot on. I think a fast run race does want goodish ground, suit him ideally. He's £4 higher than last year on 148, but he arrives in much better form. So if he gets his ground, he looks a big price. The other one is more obvious than Gin Coco. Case for him is fairly simple. 5.5 lengths second. Do I like to move it in the Great Wood off 131? They were 13 lengths clear of the 3rd. 4th, 7th, and the 8th have all won handicap since. So that form looks good. I like to move it. Didn't stay in the rail kill, but he bolted up in impressive fashion in the Kingwell. He's now £15 higher than he was in the Great Wood. So if you believe that Wincanton form, he's got place prospects in the Champion Hurdle. And Gin Coco's been kept off since the Great Wood, similar to Superb Stories, just £4 higher, hasn't gone up on collateral form. So he's one of the most obvious well-handicapped horses of the week. So it's Ballyadam and Gin Coco, my 2 against the field here.
Okay, mine were Pembroke and the other one is Path Doru, who another handicap debutant who I don't think is getting the credit for he deserves for the win last time, where the favourite was brought down by another horse and another well-supported horse went wrong. I think he'd have won anyway, so I think he's fairly beaten, and I'm not surprised he's not the novice route. Steve?
I'm going to go for one of Gordon Elliott's 3,000 entries. So Phil Dorr, if he is going to turn up, who knows? But he was a very good juvenile last year. He finished second of Vauban in 3 Grade 1s, Leopardstown, Cheltenham in the Triumph, and then at Punchestown. And he had a go over fences, but didn't really. He won first time and then didn't really go on from there, but beat Sharjah last time. And that's as good as it gets. But again, it's another really open race. But it's interesting that the last 9 have been won either by an Irish horse or a Dan Skelton. So if you're going apart from them, you've flown against the tide again.
Dan Overall.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me on to Sharjah. Like, obviously, conditions are changing now, obviously, with 4 runs being needed to get into this. So your St. Raj, your Statemans won't get in. And I think Hunter Jean probably would have been in that similar mould, but having to have that 4th run, I think he's shown his hand a bit. So I think Willie Mullins' best chance in this is going to be Sharjah. Now, history is against him. Like, there hasn't been a 9-year-old plus winner since 2007. He's a 10-year-old, but I think he retains a lot of his ability still. And there's been excuses for him this season. Like, he made a couple of bad mistakes especially the last time out when he ran. And that ground as well. I think I listened to Patrick Mullins afterwards. He said he basically knew Sharjah couldn't really win that race as soon as he saw the time of the first race. It was on the heavy side of soft. That's not what Sharjah wants. He wants good spring ground. This horse has been second in 2 champion hurdles. And I think off 155, which he's dropped to now, the British handicapper left him alone. he's got a cracking chance. And these kind of classy types that come on from graded races down to this have a good record. Like Arctic Fire won the county hurdle off 158 a few years ago. We had Petit Mouchoir, who was in the Red Mills as well. We finished third, I think, well beaten, the same race Charger's coming from. He was off 155. He finished second in it at a big price. I think Charger's a better horse and still retains more ability than Petit Mouchoir did at that stage. I think given a patient ride on the new course, I think that'll be perfect for him. That's exactly how he likes to be ridden. I think this race will suit him down to the ground. I think he's got a massive chance.
Who hasn't gone? DC?
Yeah. I've Tunis. I'm putting up Auchenrisk, the winner of the Bet for Hurdle there a few weeks ago. He was short in the market there for the Grand Annual. I couldn't understand why they would send him to that instead of this. He's had a nice rise for that, but they were so far clear of the third. I just thought he still has a bit in hand. Should handle the ground. Has been around Cheltenham bumpers, handled it fine. I just think he's a 17.0, 16.0. I'll have a little win place betting him. Chris Gordon again is flying it this season. And the other one of the Mullins horses, I don't know if he's going to run because he's entered in Supreme, but I think if Hunter's Yarn turned up in this, he'd have an unbelievable chance. Absolutely hammered. Imagine there the last day at Navan, tore up the hill, beaten by 6 lengths. I hope he goes for this instead of the Supreme because he has no hope in the Supreme. But I think if he is declared in this, he'll end up, I'd say, possibly favourite. So if you fancy him for it, take the price now.
Any angle, anyone on where he's going to run?
It's on the exchange, he's pretty weak for the Supreme.
Yeah. Say that again, Matt.
The vibe on the circuit's been